Hello everyone, how you doing? Robert here with Robert Rodriguez Photography. Welcome back to the channel. Today guys, I'm going to take you on a journey and just kind of share with you my story and how I got started with photography. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. So I would say a lot of people may have started this way. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but I used to, about 8 years ago, I used to take pictures with, like everyone else do today, a lot of people do today, and that's with your cell phone. I would take a picture with a cell phone, just random shots, and I would get a lot of feedback from people that, especially my wife, her family, and other people that will look at the images that I would share on social media, especially on Facebook. And I didn't think anything of it, but I was getting a lot of awesome compliments. One of the compliments was that you have a great eye. Another compliment was that you should definitely study this more. You should definitely go to college and see if there's a course for photography that you can get involved with to kind of help you with your craft. So I kept taking pictures with my phone and kept getting a lot of more compliments and comments on the photos that I would capture on my phone. So it got to a point where I said, you know what, this sounds pretty awesome. Let me try and see what happened, So I did show interest in photography. And I thank my wife because she is one of my biggest supporters. She ended up buying me my first camera. And my first camera, I think, was a Nikon D7200. It's a pretty awesome, great beginner's camera. And with that camera, I kind of bought it at a bundle kit, and it came with the a telephoto lens, like a 70-300 telephoto lens. Aperture at 4, I think at 4 or 5 it started. I'm not sure. It was a while back ago. But she bought me my first camera, and with that camera, I was actually taking pictures of nature. Yes, nature has been and will always be my heart. I love nature photography. I believe that nature is always there for you to capture. It's always posing. You don't have to tell a tree how to pose, which way to look, or a certain animal, or a certain flower, or just landscape. It's automatically there posing for you to capture it. I love nature. So what happened was that I started off doing nature, and I started sharing my nature work on Facebook. And how I got into capturing or photographing people this is the beginning of how it started. So I started sharing my nature work. A pretty awesome sister of mine, friend of mine, her name is Zabieta. She reached out to me. At the time we weren't friends, but she reached out to me. She saw my nature work and really loved my flower pictures. How sometimes when it rains, the little water droplets on the plants and stuff like that. I love to capture those. She saw one of my images that I captured like that, and she reached out to me and said, hey, I'm getting married down in Myrtle Beach. It's gonna be a beach wedding, and I'm looking for a wedding photographer. And I told her, look, to be honest, I've never done weddings, but a part of me was always wanting to get into weddings. I know that a lot of photographers don't like weddings or just don't bother by it. But I didn't mind. I actually wanted to get into weddings, and I just felt like this was an opportunity. So I told her, look, if you have faith in me enough for you to hire me as a wedding photographer, I'm down, So yeah, she did. She put her faith in me, and I'm gonna be honest, man. I was so scared. I mean, this is my first wedding. And I know how big that could be. I mean, come on, it's a really big one-day event. You don't have, 2 or 3 times to tell the bride, hey, can you walk back down the aisle? I missed the shot. Oh, okay. tell the groomsman, hey, can you do this and do that because I missed the shot. No, like for weddings, you gotta be on your A game. You gotta capture the moment because it's here and it's gone just like that within seconds. You just gotta be on top of your stuff. So that's what happened. She hired me as her wedding photographer, and I have to say, like I said before, I was very scared, but it was a great turnout. I mean, this was 8 years ago. You know, it was. I did my best with the knowledge that I had 8 years ago. Now, if you would ask me if I had the opportunity to redo that wedding, what would I do things differently? Of course. You know, I mean, 8 years ago into 8 years later, it's a big difference. You know, we grow in our craft, we grow in knowing our camera and how to operate it. And honestly, at that time, I wasn't even shooting RAW. I know, guys. I didn't even know anything about RAW. It was all JPEG. I didn't know what manual focus was. I had everything on autofocus. So a lot of the images came out great, but I would say that looking back at that wedding and looking at the weddings that I've done recently, you can tell there's a growth, there's a big difference, you know. But from weddings, I started branching out to fashion. Man, I love fashion. My wife and I, we're always, when there's a fashion episodes or seasons to watch, you know, when it comes down to designers and runways like on Netflix or Amazon Prime, we're for it. You know, we love watching those type of shows, those type of competitions. So fashion was my next big thing. I love fashion. I love weddings, but fashion is up there for me, to be honest. The beauty of wedding is to be able to just see the reaction of the bride face when you show her an image that you've taken of her and she is smiling. I think that is priceless. That's why I love weddings, just to be able to give them that, you know, that memory, to cherish that moment. I know how important that day is because 16 years ago, I got married myself. So I know how important that day can be, and having someone to capture it is pretty amazing, right? So yeah, like I said, fashion, I love fashion. I've done, worked in a few runways as a photographer, capturing those moments, designers, models, behind the scenes, makeup artists. I love that environment. I love the atmosphere. It's beautiful, it's amazing. The first runway show I've ever worked as a photographer was Twin City Fashion. That's when, at the time, I was living in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Twin City Fashion was a fashion that they had going on, I think for about 3 or 4 years they did it, 3 years maybe, I'm not sure. But I applied and got approved to be one of the photographers there. So I was very excited, and it was a pretty amazing experience, you know. I worked the Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Twin City Fashion for 2 years. A couple of years later, my wife and I moved here to Greenville, South Carolina. And I ended up applying because I heard that they had a Greenville Fashion here in my city. I'm like, heck yeah, I wanna do it. Let's do it, right? And the thing about photography, man, it's a beautiful community. You meet a lot of new people, a lot of new photographers. You meet amazing models, amazing designers, and it's just a great way to network, to be honest, in the photography industry. Fashions, a lot of bridal wedding events. You can meet people there. So I applied at the Greenville Fashion, and I ended up last year working for the first time for the Greenville Fashion as a photographer last year, which was pretty amazing. I met a lot of new models and just a lot of new people. Spencer, love that guy. He's kind of the lead photographer in the Greenville Fashion Week, and just met a lot of great people. I will be working Greenville Fashion this year, and I'm super excited. So from weddings to fashion, I ended up branching to newborns, toddler, family portraits, and just things like that. You know, things like that. I do have a creative side of photography where if I have a vision, I'm gonna reach out to a model. Hey, let's push out this vision, right? But to me, that is my creativity side, is when I have a vision and idea. The business side of photography is more of what the client wants. It's the client vision, and I'm there to capture that for them. So yeah, like I said, my story, it could be pretty long, but I don't want this video to be super long, an hour or two. With this, I end. I love photography. I'm also a youth pastor, so I'm able to use that the gift that God has given me to capture imagery. You know, I also use it during our praise and worship time at church. But you'll be able to see some of the pictures I'll share on this video, so you guys can see the journey. Maybe some photos from beginning into how it looks now. It's definitely a journey. I enjoy photography. I love photography. And yeah, this is my story. Like I said, I started off taking pictures with my cell phone camera. Got a lot of great comments, and that kind of boosts me to step into photography. And I'm glad I did. 8 years ago, I really stepped into it, and I never looked back. And I am excited to see what the next 8 years has in store for me as a photographer. But all I can do is grow and share my gift to the world. Love you guys. Thank you for tuning into my channel. Please help my channel out by subscribing, so you can also click the bell so you get the notification when I post a new video. Like I said, this channel is my journey, and I am wanting you guys to be part of it. Thank you. Have an awesome day. Peace.